It's green for go. They're racing.
He says go.
He says ta-da.
And Tiger Tara roars away from them on the home turn.
Here comes another big boil over.
Equine athleticism at its best. The king is in the castle once more.
This is in one race. The rest are almost in another postcode.
She is a star with a capital S.
It's going to be a triple treat, a miracle three-peat. Ladies and gentlemen, you have witnessed history here at Menangle. What about that?
It's getting right up on the sprint lane and it's going to bolt in.
Hello and welcome to the Sunday session, another big podcast coming up. My name is Greg Hayes and I'm here for Harness Racing New South Wales, of course all part of the Sprint Lane podcast series. The world's richest harness race is less than 3 weeks away and there are still slot holders yet to announce what they're going to do. The six we await on, the Cordinas, Tab, Kevin and Kay Seymour, Wayne Loader, Summit Narrabeen Racing and Team Zav. Let's work backwards. Team Zav, the Zavitsanos family have a decision to make. Do they go with Wardan Buddy, who won a race at Melton on Saturday night? He's the 4-year-old who was a winner over the mile at Menangle in quick time 2 starts ago now. Then the 3-year-old Foxdan. He won race 3 at Melton and beat the older horses impressively. I think Foxdan would be the better winning chance. Both horses currently $21 in betting with Tab. Summit Narrabeen Racing have an agreement with Emma Stewart and Clayton Tonkin, and with the 3-year-old Go Mickey sitting in the wings, it wouldn't surprise me to see it get the nod. He's the horse that came to Sydney 2 weeks ago and won comfortably. I had Cam Hart on the podcast after that night. He was full of praise for Go Mickey. The Stewart stable have plenty of other options. Mickey to Success, the horse that won in fast time at Charlton during the week. Another one from the Stewart stable is Some American, competed in the Chariots of Fire. It's only had 3 runs back from a spell and broke back into the winner's circle last week. So there are options there. I think Go Mickey was the leading contender, but been wrong before. Wayne Loader. Now, he's an interesting one. Logic would say Bernie Hewitt's Royal Cruise is in the plum spot to gain the start, but Bernie was on the podcast 2 weeks ago and said Wayne was in negotiations during the Winter Carnival with another slot holder. Now, I can only assume when we're talking Winter Carnivals and negotiations that Bernie's talking about Kevin Seymour and Wayne Loader talking. Now, we saw slot holders team up last year to spread the risk and try and get a return on their $100,000 annual investment. I wonder whether we're going to see something similar from Wayne. The Seymour slot surely goes to Fader Waits, won the Rising Sun, placed 3rd in the Queensland Derby, and the runner-up is already into the race. That's Hesitate. Those in the know keep talking up 3-year-olds, making up half the field this year. So if that's the case, then Fader Wait looks certain to secure a run. That leaves the Tab and the Cordina family. I wonder whether John Hawkes, being in the ownership of See the Stars, gives it a strong push in the eyes of the Tab. Great for the marketing of the race, having a horseman like John Hawkes cheering a runner on in the world's richest harness race. Again, I don't know anything. I haven't rung anyone or heard anything. It just seems a perfect match. See the Stars got a huge push from Will Rickson on the podcast last week. He spoke strongly about the horse's ability and the belief that he's classy enough to earn a spot in the race. See the Stars raced at Menangle last night on Saturday. Wanted to hang in under pressure, lay all over the leader, but once Will got him balanced up, he proved too strong. So, what way does Daniel Cordina go? I think Royal Cruiser stands out. If I was Dan, I'd be on the phone locking down the Bernie Hewitt trained 4-year-old now. He's got the gate speed not many others have. There wouldn't be many who'd want to hold him out, and I think everyone is forgetting what happened last year. Don Hugo and Luke McCarthy got away with murder in front and took the back markers out of play by the time they got to the cages. Lead time 48.9, first 2 quarters 29.2, 30.3. If the leaders get away with that again, then logic says they're going to be in the finish. Someone has to make a move this week. We have the running of the Discovery next week. It's the race where the emergencies are selected. Now, in 2023, they ran the Singo and the winner got in, and that was run 2 weeks before the Eureka. Last year, the Discovery was run 1 week before, and this year it's back to 2 weeks before the big dance. Good luck to everyone involved. I think the race in just 3 years has brought out plenty of discussion and interest, especially within the industry. Doesn't have the cut through that the Everest has had, but it still gives people like me in the industry plenty to talk about. How good was this announcement during the week? Harness Racing New South Wales is pleased to announce a significant $3 million partnership over 3 years with Nutrient. This landmark partnership will see the running of the Nutrient Juvenile Series, for 2 and 3-year-old pacers and trotters at the Riverina Paceway from May 2026. The Nutrien Juvenile Series provides substantial prize money and opportunities for young horses. This complements New South Wales' thriving racing landscape of elite youth-focused programs, including the Bathurst Gold Crown Series, as well as the Nutrien Equine New South Wales Breeders' Challenge Series, further cementing New South Wales as the national leader in juvenile harness racing. As part of this strategic partnership, Harness Racing New South Wales will provide comprehensive support to the series, including premier on-course event entertainment on the flagship finals night to engage with the Riverina community, as well as attract broader audiences. The Wagga Harness Racing Club, long recognised as a key venue within Australian harness racing, will serve as the host venue for the Nutrien Series, helping to position Wagga as a hub for elite juvenile competition. Further details, including the full race schedule, entry conditions and entertainment, will be announced in the coming months. Well, that is exciting. $3 million over 3 years for 2 and 3-year-old pacers and trotters. And we're going to find out more about that in coming months. I mentioned Will Rickson earlier. He gave everyone a few heart flutters when he got caught up on the fence when driving Max Delight in the free-for-all at Menangle. He spoke last week about needing to drive him a bit uglier on occasions because he'd rolled when he had Laird, he'd cuddled him and he'd been beaten. Well, when he got bailed up and Captain's Knock rolled to the front, Max Delight looked in all sorts of trouble, but Will was able to squeeze out, go after Captain's Knock in the straight. The pair had a ripper clash late, and the old boy added another sub-149 victory to the resume. Sheet Webb Weaver won the trot for Luke McCarthy and Anton Galino. It was only his second run for Anton and his first victory. He looked like he was about to be swamped, but he got up off the canvas to win. Hollywood Strip won the 2-year-old and might be in for a handy end to the year. He looked to be hanging in down the straight, but once balanced up, he darted away from his rivals to score comfortably. I know Fred Hastings thought plenty of it. In the Brad Hewitt stable, Brad knows how to get a big race win. So I think it's fair to say he can be inked into the black book going forward. I saw with interest the job ad for Harness Racing Australia's CEO has gone live. Interesting to see whether the sport attracts anyone from outside of harness racing. I've had Brad Steele on this podcast previously. He is, of course, in charge of Harness Racing New Zealand currently and moved across to New Zealand from Queensland. I don't follow the New Zealand industry as close as I once did when I was back working full-time in the media, but from what I can see, Brad has stepped in and made some noticeable changes over the ditch. The CEO of Harness Racing Australia would not be an easy job. You are answerable to so many masters. I don't think people who have been critical of Andrew Kelly realise just how good a job he's done, but that's a discussion for another day. Looking outside of Sydney, congratulations to Peter Keogh, who trained a treble on the 8-race card at Parks on Friday night. Has only trained more than 10 winners in a season once in his career. So to pick up 3 winners on the one program is a really good effort. Congratulations to Pete and Matt Rue, who drove all 3. The State Drivers' Premiership continues to be a great battle. Rob Morris and Will Rickson are on 118 wins each. Cam Hart on 117, Jet Turnbull 108, Jai Coney on 107. Congratulations to young Jai on picking up that century of winners in a season. Big achievement, and our driving ranks in New South Wales are well and truly stacked. Who's on the podcast today? There is a bit to talk to Brad Hewitt about. He has Hollywood Strip firing. He looks like an absolute mountain out on the track. He dwarfed his rivals last night, so we will have a chat to Brad about him. We can talk about Captain's Knock. A little birdie told me they're getting him ready to serve a few mares while he has a break after the Len Smith. So we'll talk to Brad about that. We've got the Locomotive. He's enjoyed a good break. He's due back at Brad's in the next week or so. And might even ask him where Extreme C is, seeing as we're talking Eureka at the moment. And, of course, Extreme C was invited, but then got injured. My second guest today is going to be Robbie Morris. I was at the pub last night watching the races, and when Robbie got up the inside and won on Caulonia Courage, I was sitting there listening to a couple of old blokes, 2 old blokes sitting there, and they were talking between themselves, and they were having a chat about how often Robbie finds a gap on the inside. Not only at Menangle, one of them was talking about he does it at Penrith too. So I want to get Rob on to have a chat about why he seems to get that inside run more often than other drivers. He's a freak at it. I think Fred's got to give it a name. There's obviously no sprint lane at Menangle or Penrith, but he finds a gap all of the time. I'm thinking something like Robbie's runway, but I'm sure Fred can come up with something for it. So Robbie Morris is going to join me on the show as well. A lot to get through. First up, let's hear from Brad Hewitt.
And Hewitt about to shake up this leader. Hollywood Strip led the way, about to give chase as Lochinvar leader. The leader is Hollywood Strip. Coming at it on the outside of it now is Lochinvar leader, but he goes into overdrive now. Oh, Hollywood Strip, he might be something special. He's left the other one lamenting and has gone home to win it. Big effort in the end.
Well, Brad Hewitt picked up a winner on Saturday night meeting at Menangle, which is pretty common these days. Hollywood Strip, though, looks like he might be untapped. 2-year-old that's only had the couple of starts, won them both, and prior to debuting had 3 starts in Goulburn and won all of those. So doesn't know what defeat is so far. Brad Hewitt's joining us to have a chat. G'day, Brad. How are you?
Good morning, Hazy. Good mate. How are you?
Good. This 2-year-old, Hollywood Strip, what can you tell us?
Well, he's a huge horse. He's probably a bigger horse than ever come through the place, and he's got big ability too to match it. So he's pretty exciting.
When you first got him, did you think, he might be a bit big to make it as a 2-year-old?
Yeah, Bootsy got me to look at him at the sales, and so as soon as I seen him, I said, no, he's just way too big. But he's a great looking horse, and athletic, and the only thing that was sort of saving him was he wasn't sort of big and heavy. His legs and joints and that were all still nice and athletic, and he was just athletic looking horse and a great head. But there's no doubt he looked too big as a yearling. But anyway, he's been nice and patient, and he's starting to repay him now.
How is he around the stables? Is he a bit of a handful, or is he a gentle giant?
No, he's definitely a gentle giant. He's a beautiful horse. He's that big he can sort of reach over the door of me. My daughter Ruby, I can see best mate. She leads him around, and he puts his head down in her chest and just loves the attention. So he's a beautiful horse to have around.
A couple of trials, or 3 trials before he went to the races back on the 1st of August at Wagga and just blew them off the park there. Yeah,
well, he done a really good job there because it was his first time off the place. He's never left the Goulburn track here, and that was his first time away, and it went really nice. He was still pretty green, and he done it good. And even last night, he wanted to hang in a bit and do a couple of things wrong. So, once he sort of learns what to do, he'll do a bit of damage to him.
Yeah, and ran time last night too, 1:51.2. Was he waiting for that other horse, or was he just trying to duck in and you were just trying to keep him straight for the first part of the straight?
No, he's just, well, as I said, he's a big casual fella, and I just had the plugs out just so he could hear me and be concentrating. But from pretty much halfway down the back, he was sort of got on the right rein a bit and wasn't steering good, whereas at home, all he wants to do is go the other way. He's always inclined to run out. But anyway, as I said, that's a bit of greenness and a bit of racecraft. But once he straightens up, if he wasn't on the right rein all the way down the straight, he would have sort of went a lot quicker. Not that he had to, but that sort of stopped him from going forward. But just tinker around with a couple of things and he'll be fine.
So what are you going to aim him up at now?
You just have a bit of a freshen up. He'll go out for sort of a week or 10 days and just have a little reset, and Breeders' Challenge is only just around the corner. So all being well, if he keeps sort of standing up and everything's all good with him, we'll aim up at that.
Mate, hit a bit of a milestone during the week too, 500 career training wins. That's got to be a feather in your cap. Yeah,
I heard Freddie say that when I come back to scale there last night. So, that was good. Yeah, it's good achievement.
And obviously there's, it's not just you. There's a team behind you that gets all the work done, and, it's obviously a family affair. So a reward for everyone involved, I guess, in the team.
Yeah, absolutely. The staff here and obviously Dad, everyone knows we working together here, and obviously Mum and Millie at home, it's a team effort from everyone.
Captain's knock last night, had to burn hard early at the start. He drew poorly. You went forward. You got the front. Went 26-5, and then there wasn't much respite. 28-8 that second quarter. Narrowly beaten in 148-8. You got to be thinking you got him spot on.
Yeah, I'm really happy with him. Hazy, he hasn't had a good burn out of the gate like that for a long time, but like it took a great horse, and he's just in career best form, in my opinion, old Max, and yeah, he just had a beautiful run and was too good for us. But yeah, I couldn't have been happier with my fella. As I said, like first time burning out of the gate like that for a long time and back to the mile, so I'm sure that'll sharpen him up as well.
What I'm assuming the Len Smith miles is target.
Yeah, he'll probably have another start in between, either next week or the week after, and yeah, then go into the Len Smith.
Have you worked out what you'll do after the Len Smith? Are you just keep him going, or is he due for a spell? What's your plans?
No, he's actually going to have a break. I'm going to serve a few mares with him actually, so yeah, you have a fun little month there, and I'll probably bypass the Victoria Cup because I think Swayze and Leap the Fame are both going there, so we might dodge them and yeah, aim up at the same things, some summer races, and I think the first round of the Carnival Cups races starts at Wagga sort of early November, so that might be his first target. So
you're just serving some of your own mares?
Yeah, there's been a few people interested, and yeah, happy to send mares and that to him, but I didn't really want to advertise him because like he's not going to be available all season. Obviously, like it's a bit tricky, but yeah, like if things work out, then yeah, sort of there'd be some availability to go to him anyway if people are interested.
What about the Locomotive? What's the news with him? I saw Glenn Holland put up on social media that the horse is back.
Yeah, he's been back from Melbourne for a fortnight now, and yeah, I haven't seen him, but yeah, I know Ricky Alton's seen him, and Glenn has, and said he looks unbelievable, and he's going mad at the spell and joint, so he's ready to come back into work sort of later in the week, or yeah, sort of early the following week.
Okay, and then you obviously get him ready for races over the summer in Australia.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we were sort of weighed up whether he went to New Zealand for the Dominion, but he's had a pretty hectic schedule. Like he went to New Zealand and from there to Sweden and yeah, back again. So yeah, he just wanted to. Yeah, we thought we'd give him a bit of a decent spell now, and yeah, aim up at then summer races like the Great Southern Stars on early February, and yeah, then sort of in the Dominion again, like through the winter time next year.
If he comes through and he performs as well as he did last year or this year in those races next year, would you go back to Sweden, or is that just a one-off, do you think? You're happy you've experienced it and you're happy now to concentrate on races closer to home?
Yeah, no, that definitely won't go back there. Like he's a great horse, but if you go in there, you really need a horse that's sort of like a Leap to Fame where you can take luck out of the equation, because you draw bad and there's not too many that can do work and yeah, still win races like that. So you got to rely on a lot of luck, and it's a big expense. So yeah, it was good to tick it off the list, but yeah, we won't be going back next year.
Okay, mate. I know it's not your stable, but it's your uncle Bern. He's got a couple of horses looking at Eureka slots. You know what the Eureka's all about. You've been in it. If you had a slot, would you be giving it to a horse like Royal Cruiser?
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually talking to Bern's son Jace through the week, and yeah, I'm genuinely shocked that no one's picked him up. Like he can't do any more than what he's been doing the last sort of month or so. Like he went close to Leap to Fame's track record, and then got beat ahead to Sure Thing Captain that's won 2 heats in the Dominion, going to be one of the favourites for the Len Smith. So he's got as good, if not better form than any sort of that are in the race so far. So yeah, I'm really surprised that he hasn't been picked up. And yeah, he can obviously make his own luck. He's got great gate speed and he's good and strong. So you'd like to assume he'd be a really good top 3 chance.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm baffled because of that gate speed and because he's so strong. You know where you're going to be. If you're a slot holder, you know you're getting a run for your money in 2025.
Yeah, well, obviously the 3-year-olds get the draw, but if he happens to fare well, like sort of out of all the 4-year-olds, like, you know, the front's going to be there off any of the 3-year-olds. They're not going to want to be doing too much work. They'll be happy to take a sit, and if he was through inside like a Bay of Biscay or something, you'd know that he's going to be happy to be in front and keep it.
Mate, question off notice. Extreme C, where's he at? Is he come through anything? Is he any chance of making a comeback?
Yeah, he actually come in sort of 10 days ago and done a little bit with him, and he's actually gone down to Shepparton to Nathan Jacks. He's got the water walker there and treadmill and everything like that. So he's just going to have sort of 2 or 3 weeks there just to get through this first little bit, and hopefully press on and onwards and upwards after that. So
so far so good in terms of the injury.
Yeah, like his legs have looked fine for the best part of 12 months. It's only on X-rays that it showed up that he's needed a bit of time, but like the initial injury, done a branch resuspensory, and that's been fine for a long time. But it was only because he done that and found like another little niggling issue there, and just needed time. But the X-rays come back as good as they can, and got the all clear to press on. So fingers crossed everything stays together.
Well, mate, there's definitely some good news around the stable at the moment. Congratulations with the win last night, and all the best of luck going forward.
No worries. Thanks, Hazy.
And Springfield Affair tries to sneak away from Ugachaka. Double act. Mac Da Vinci's going to come to the outside as heads were turned for home. Springfield Affair the leader. Caulonia Courage. Robbie Morris up on the inside. He's coming up strongly. Ugachaka down the outside as Double Act. Another big finish. Caulonia Courage goes to the lead. Double Act is trying to wear it down. In front close to home is Caulonia Courage, and it'll go back to back and beat. Second home in the race, Double Act. Third, flashing home, Spirit of Arion.
I have been sitting and watching races for a number of years at Menangle, and there is one driver who constantly finds runs up the inside, and it's Robbie Morris. And to me, it's back to the old days at Harold Park, where sometimes the spot to be was 3 pegs because the leader would go for home, horse behind the leader comes to the outside, and then bang, that 3-peg horse all of a sudden gets that run up the inside. But Robbie just does it too often for it to be a fluke. And I thought we'd get him on to have a little bit of a chat about it because he did it again last night. G'day, Rob. How are you?
Good, mate. Thanks for having me.
No probs. This getting a run at the inside at Menangle, it does happen too often for it to be chance. It's something that you obviously have in the back of your mind when you go out there to race.
Yeah, I think it's. I was probably very fortunate that I was had that Harold Park sort of stage in my life when I was younger, and I watched a lot of races, and I wasn't all that intelligent at school, but my dad used to always tell me that good drivers have to know mathematics, and I think as the years have gone on, that's probably been highlighted more and more with how fast horses are going now. You know, you've only got to look what our 2-year-olds went last night, and when you're doing that, mathematics comes into it quite fast, and you know, it's something that I probably as a freelance driver and wanting to evolve yourself to be the best you can, I think it's something that you need to have in, ready to go when it's needed.
So is it a spot that you're looking for? If you're back in the field turning for home, are you looking straight away for that inside run? Is that the first thing that comes into your mind, or is that one of several things that you're thinking about when you're turning for home?
Oh, it's probably it's something that I look at probably. It starts well before that in my eyes. I'm probably looking for where I'm going to be turning for home when the gate goes. I think that's probably, you hear any good CEO that works for rugby league that winning starts in the front office, and I'm a firm believer of that. So when the gate goes, mathematically I'll have the form done in my head where I think what'll lob where, and say for instance of Penrith. If the 3's favourite and you know that it's going to find an easy lead, well, 3-4 fence are vital because if it gets an easy lead and gets the first quarter in 30 at Penrith, which in this day and age is an easy first quarter, it's going to rip home in a 56 half. Now, if you think you're going to come 3 wide at the 400, 4 wide at the 400 and run it down, you're delusional, because you can't get home in 54 around Penrith unless you leap to fame. So you have to then find a way to try and, negate a path around, making ground, and your fence probably becomes a really good option then. Obviously, there's a lot of luck to it. But I think if you do it properly, it's I don't think there's too much luck there. You've just got to, pull the right rein when you can, which is obviously a hard thing to do in itself. But, it sort of starts as the gate goes for me to try and work out where I'm going to be later in the race.
It's not a camber thing on the track because, the track is flat, but there just seems to be, not in every race, but in a majority of races, the leader does make room for a horse up the inside. And is that because of the speed the horses are going?
I'm sure it is. As we've evolved and, as I've got older and, I'm 34 this week. So I've been lucky enough to have been around and driven a lot of good races, and I've drove with a lot of good drivers. And I do believe the drivers that we've got now, the handful of us freelance drivers, we're getting horses to run such strong speeds that when they're getting late in the mile, horses wander. It's just natural. We're pushing them so far now, and the speeds that they're going, I think when they're getting tired, they start to wobble around a bit, and then the runs start coming. And naturally, a horse will, for some reason, horses, when they get a bit tired, they don't run in. They all run out. It's always the way I feel it goes. So as we hit the line, you've only got to watch any head-on shot at Menangle, and from the 250 home, the leader will end up getting to 2 carts wide without even trying. Some will get further. So I just think it's, it doesn't happen in every race. And, it's, as a freelance driver, I drive for a lot of people and I drive a lot of horses. And some people, I'll be honest, some people don't like me going to the fence all the time. So you've got to change. You've got to evolve. You've got to make yourself relevant. So, it happens a lot for me, and I do think there's a lot of luck involved with it, but it's something that I do have in the forefront of my mind most races.
Caulonia Courage was the horse that got the run last night. Troy Williams is having a tremendous run, does a great job with his team. What were your thoughts going into the race? Did you think you could win?
I did think I could win, and Troy will attest to this. He wanted me to cross, and I just didn't think I'd clear the 1 or the 2, and I thought there'd be too much speed from out wide. So he was pretty adamant that he wanted me to head forward, and the gate went 10 yards, and I wasn't crossing the inside too, and there was too much momentum coming from wide. So there was sort of 2 options left, 3 fence, or probably I think it would have been 1 out 3 or 1 out 4 back. But, obviously the leader had run a super mile the week before, and Caulonia Courage got him right on the line. So I knew that horse had run a good mile again. So I thought, when looking at it on paper, I thought Doug's putter had done too much to get to the chair. So its cover was going to be gapping out at the 500, which then would have made me be going 3 deep, 4 deep, turning for home when the leader's going a 51 mile on the fence. It's too hard to do. It's just they're going so fast, it's too hard to do. So 3 fence seemed a logical spot, and it worked out last night anyway.
Mate, another couple of placings that you had. Lochinvar Leader went round behind Hollywood Strip, did a pretty good job. Lochinvar Leader's had nearly, 9 starts now, won a race, been placed plenty of times. Do you have an opinion of it?
Yeah, I think he's a really nice colt. Unfortunately, last night we just run into an exceptional colt. He looks a great colt, Brad's colt, and I thought they both raced great. I couldn't have been any happier with our little fella. Like, he's a tradesman. He's got great gate speed. He's got great racing manners. He puts himself in the right spot, which is going to go a long, long way for him. So, we're looking forward to the Breeders' Challenge with him. But, it's Brad's colt was better than him last night, and he looks a really, really, really good colt. So, I was very pleased with our fella.
How long has Kevin Gordon been in the stable for?
This is the first lot. He bought the first lot of yearlings, obviously 2024, and this is their 2 now. So had a couple of 3-year-olds early in the year that we purchased for other people, and it sort of just come around that we had them, but nothing that we sort of wanted to hang around with. But these are the first lot of yearlings that he's bought me and Kez, and it's been super. So he's looks like we've got a nice handy one, and we bought a couple more this year as well. So hopefully long may it continue.
Look, everyone's talking See the Stars up for a spot in the Eureka. Dangerous Threats didn't do a bad job. It was only 8 metres behind See the Stars.
Yeah, he did. He's going good. I'd be open to any conversations there. But look, he's a nice horse. I don't know if he's a Eureka horse, but he follows a good speed, and he raced great last night. So look, we might put the Kerry today. I think she was half thinking about nominating him for that race next week. We'll definitely throw a nominee, and we'll probably nominate him in the 80 as well, and just weigh up our options. But he's great, and he's going really good.
Talking about those big races coming up, do you throw a nomination for Sia Art into the Len Smith Mile after he was so good in that Inter-Dominion?
Yeah, him and Pete said so. We'll nom for that. I'll probably nom Canina Problema as well. But yeah, obviously Sia Art was great in the 3rd, and he was great last night running 4th in the free for all 48 and 8. Like they're not slowing down, and Max Delight's he's like a fine wine. Old Max is getting better with age. So the Menangle free for all so strong at the moment. I think if you have a look at the sectionals of that race, every horse in that race would have probably nearly broke 50. So it was a great race to be in, and definitely.
And what about Lotus Louise? Pretty handy and goes around tomorrow, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's in tomorrow at Menangle. He's obviously getting ready for the Nutrien later in I think it's a month away now, and then he's got Vic Bred and Breeders' Crown, so he's got plenty of options. And we might actually miss the Breeders' Crown and head to Queensland for the 3 and 4-year-old race up there later in the year. So he's got a busy couple of months ahead.
Mate, I know you're going to say, oh, look, if it happens, it happens, but it's not a big thing for me. The state premiership, it's going to be a ripper finish between you, Cam, Will Rickson, and Jet and Jai aren't that far behind either. But every week the leader's changing, and there's not many wins between the top 3.
No, there's not. And yeah, you're right. It's sort of not something that we set out to do. I think all us drivers just set out to have good years, and it's so lucky to get the drives we all get, and the trainers that support us. So I'm blessed. I've got my wife's got such a powerful team with a great team around her, and get a lot of good support from a lot of other trainers. So it's not a one-man job driving horses. It's a lot of moving parts that make us all tick along, and it's good that these young guys come through and they keep me on my toes anyway. Mate,
great to catch up with you. I've been wanting for quite some time to have a chat about this inside gap that you seem to find more often than not, and you do it a lot more than plenty of other drivers out there. So good to have a chat about that today. All the best of luck going forward.
Appreciate it, mate. Thank you.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Winning. Hey, that's pretty good.
Winner!
That was legitness.
To that I say, all right. Wow, winning.
Bam! Just like that. That's all there is to it, Dustin. That's all there is to it. A winner. Just like that.
And the winner is... We've both come good. Winners galore for Mr. T and I. Actually, let's not go that far. We got a winner each, but we both showed a profit. Pablo Rocks won for Mr. T at Bathurst, and I found Stagecoach at Menangle on Monday. Both showed a profit this week. Mr. T is negative $66. I'm negative $90. So I still need to make up a few more dollars with winter coming to an end. Mr. T has 2 for us this week, both at Bathurst on Wednesday. Race 2, number 2, Teddy Feels Good. Had some success with that Jai Coney Nathan Turnbull combination, so Mr. T's going back to the well, so to speak. Has been placed 3rd at its past 3 starts. His last run last time out was pretty good after getting caught up. Hasn't won a race for over 12 months. I guess that's the only little concern, but Mr. T says Wednesday is the night, so race 2, number 2, Teddy Feels Good. And race 6, number 1, Uptown Chance for Steve Lee and James Locke. First starter. It's had 3 trials. Most recent was at Wagga. It went 156.9, so that should have primed it for a first-up performance this week. Race 6, number 1, Uptown Chance. My 2, both at Menangle Monday. I'm going to go race 6, number 10, Unfazed for Gavin and Paul Fitzpatrick. you know where he'll be. He'll go back. He gets back, comes with that one run. So he needs a lot of luck and he needs some speed on. But if he gets it, he can really finish off a race. Couldn't have been more impressive working home to finish midfield last start. He took ground off the leaders. He's well suited at Menangle to be storming home late. That's race 6, number 10, Unfazed. And race 8, number 8, Spirit of Anarchy. Now, this one's for Brent Lilly and Blake Fitzpatrick, a handy Kiwi. It's turned up at the trials at Menangle last week, hit the line full of running, settled a long way back. Blake let him balance up in the straight, didn't rip him to the outside straight away, just turned around on a helmet and then got to the outside, pulled him to the outside, let him work home under his own steam, and he does look like he's got a lot of pace. So I'm going to go race 8, number 8, Spirit of Anarchy. But another one that is going to need things to go his way or need speed on in the race. That just about wraps up the podcast for another week. Thanks to the guests, Brad Hewitt and Robbie Morris. The clock continues to wind down towards the Eureka. We've got to have more news this week, surely. Someone's got to launch and tell us who they're taking to the big race, the Len Smith Miles on that program of racing, and then we turn our attention towards the Breeders' Challenge and Carnival of Cups. It is never boring in New South Wales, that's for sure, so there is a lot to look forward to. I'll catch you again next week. Bye for now.